You've all heard the statement before, you have 2 ears, 1 mouth. Talk less and listen more, salespeople. Well, today on this episode, we're going to talk more about the idea of listening, but not just in the traditional sense of you got to listen because it's important and it's good. You might miss out on stuff. We're going to teach you and share with you a concept of how you could listen with your whole body. I mean, your whole body. This is going to be good. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast here on TSC TV on YouTube. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we have Victoria Song coming on the podcast. Now, Victoria, she's worked in the venture capitalist world and works with a lot of high net worth individuals, a lot of business owners, a lot of CEOs, a lot of tech startup leaders who are just like running, and they need to get that guidance. She's also author of a fantastic new book, and you're going to learn more about that. I won't spill the beans, but you're going to see some more details and hear about that. If you're watching this on TSC TV on YouTube, and if you're looking in the show notes, you can find the links down below and get access to it as well. But Victoria and I, we're going to talk about, we start off this conversation kind of helping to identify why we need to listen more and so forth, and what are some of the challenges. But then we go into some of these concepts that she shares in her book. And you're going to hear about this idea of expansion and contraction. I won't give you any more than that, but you need to listen, buckle up, you get it, listen, and take advantage of the information that Victoria's going to share. Let's dive in.
This is a key point to understanding the physical states that we are in when we're trying to bend reality in the direction that we want. And so I really define 2 clear states. So one is contraction, which is what you're describing as the nervous system feels activated, wound up, we're triggered into perhaps a fight or flight state. This happens when we're feeling like we're not getting our way, we're not feeling heard, we're feeling like it's questioning our sense of worthiness, or are we wrong or right? We tend to see the world in this black and white binary viewpoint of like right, wrong, success, failure, good, bad. And we only really have access to 2 options from this state of contraction. And so as you can imagine, it's not a state conducive to creativity, problem solving, inspiration, all the things that you want to have access to when you're, problem solving or wanting to listen. The other opposite state is a state of expansion. And when you're in the state of expansion, your heart rate slows, your body calms down, your nervous system feels relaxed. You all of a sudden feel like you have access to new ideas, new perspectives. Your tunnel vision has expanded, like your bandwidth on reality has actually increased. And so you're able to see reality for what it is, not through this colored lens of the story you're telling yourself. And so these 2 states are very critical for really operating in life in general, and especially when there is an important meeting, important conversation, negotiation, sales call, whatever it is, it's important to operate from the state of expansion. So one way to improve our access to expansion is to notice when our nervous system is activated. And so right now, if I asked you to imagine feeling unworthy or like a failure, like you could probably notice that you feel tightness in your chest, right? Like if you notice, let me just do it right now. What do you feel or notice in your body? Yeah. So tell me, if you're picturing, like the meeting didn't go the way you wanted to, it didn't happen. You feel like you failed. What's like the feeling in your body?
Like, yeah, definitely. It is the tightness in the chest. It is like, almost like the weight, of like the burden, so to speak, that you're, I'm trying to think
Absolutely.
About one of my.
Yeah, and how much access do you have to solutions, creativity, inspiration from here?
Yeah, there's not much.
Yeah, it's like your tunnel vision narrows down to feeling threatened and scanning your environment in this vigilant way for safety. And without realizing it, most of my clients are operating from here. They're working through their day, their inner critic is loud, their discontent is their fuel, their desire to prove something is their fuel. They're needing to have things go their way. All of these kind of attempts to control people and circumstances has become a conditioned response to, their way of moving through life that they learned at a young age. And as CEO or as an executive, it can feel sometimes like, oh, I'm safe being vigilant. Like there's a sense of safety that comes from feeling like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. But as you just noticed, you don't really have much access to new perspectives, elevated ideas, inspiration from here. And so my work and my book and all the tools are really, how do you release contraction? How do you move more and more toward increasing your level of access to expansion and the state that gives you the ability to bend reality from? Right now is just to notice your fuel for motivation. So what motivates you right now to get out of bed? And if I asked you that, like, why do you get out of bed and do what you do? What would you say?
I'll probably say biggest piece of my family, my family, and then a drive to succeed. Growing up, we didn't have it. We were poor, and it was, and I never wanted my family to be in a state like that. My own family, so experience what I did before. So each day, the drive to being the very best that I possibly can be, and provide for my family. And the other thing too is like time is infinite. I mean, it's not infinite. It's finite. There's only a certain amount of time that we all each have, and I want to maximize that time while whatever I have here.
Absolutely. So I love hearing that how much you value your family, because part of accessing expansion is to start to get really clear on what are your clean, sustainable fuels. So when clients find me, they're usually operating from a toxic fuel of scarcity, of proving something. I want to prove that I'm somebody, not a nobody. I need to, prove I'm smart enough, successful enough. I have the status and respect of others. Like there's really a desire to prove that you matter in the world. And that is a very contractive fuel, and it can lead to burnout. So that's the fuel when people say I'm burnt out. It's because you haven't learned how to reach your personal peak with a healthy, sustainable fuel, such as a sense of mission or purpose. So one of the key reasons why, like across the board, life coaching and business coaching, one of the first items on the agenda is to discover what's your purpose. Going for a great run, for others that's surfing, for some people that's playing a sport, for others that's dancing. And so the more we can cultivate doing things that feel like a 10 for us, the more we train our nervous system to be conditioned to that state versus contraction. Some call it, but it's really like I love what I do. Like my ability to serve my clients in the way I do brings me pure joy, bliss, expansion to do that. And so even if you're really good at it, if you don't love it, don't do it. Because if you make yourself do things you don't love, you are putting yourself into contraction and then bringing that wound up nervous system into even your zone of genius, where your talents are then kind of capped and you're getting like a lesser version of your best self, for all the things that even you're good at.
Oh my goodness. So you see how this all ties back together. So it comes back down to more than just like, writing down and having questions that you can ask in a selling situation. It is really, are you in a state of contracting or expansion when it comes towards you being confident or capable enough of asking effective questions. And of listening more to your prospect rather than going into this mode of, talking. And I also feel, maybe you could help me out too with this, like if you're in this contraction, this expansion mode, it seems like if I am prepared for a meeting, I'm not worried about it.
We get awareness to insights and cues that we wouldn't be picking up if we were hyper-focused on just trying to get a sale across, or get something across the finish line. So when we listen with our full awareness, we're not just paying attention to the words coming out of the person's mouth, we're listening to the tone. And therefore, when we listen to the tone underneath the words, sometimes we can pick up maybe the meta. What's really this person, what's the fear underlying this question this person's asking me? What is this person really getting at when they ask me that question? And how can I address the real meta question that's not being asked right now? Like what's not being said? And we can feel into that. And then we can also just feel into almost like the field between two people. How when, we're connecting, like we just slowed down and you could tell that there was like almost like a deeper drop into is there anything else I want to say about this? And we kind of noticed we're co-creating this like energetic exchange between us. And that's another level that you don't notice unless you're really listening with your full awareness and your full body and really just beyond your mind, but opening up, what are the emotions I'm noticing coming up for me? What's the tightening going on in my chest about? What's that laughter and joy that's coming out, or that excitement, And so it's really starting to tune in to all of this intelligence that we're actually getting cues all the time about, and making ourselves available for that.
Oh, so good. Listen with your whole body. Listen with everything. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
If folks out there listening to this episode want to get connected with you and learn more about you, what's the best way for them to go about doing so?
Yes, I would love to hear from you. So you can come visit my website, which is www.victoriasong.me. And you can put that in the show notes, VICTORIASONG. And if you want to check out the book, that's just /bending-reality. And Simon & Schuster's distributing it, which I'm really excited about. So you'll be able to find it everywhere soon. But if you pre-order it now, you will get access to a lot of my most powerful coaching techniques that I use with my clients, and you get them for free as a bonus for pre-ordering now.
Done. We're going to go put that in the show notes for when this goes live so folks can get access to that. Victoria, thank you. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Thank you for your insights. And thank you for helping us to become better listeners. We appreciate you. Listen, that was Victoria's song. And if you haven't connected with her already, please just go ahead and do so. Scroll down, click on the link, connect with her, tell her you heard about her on the Sales Evangelist podcast, as well as purchase her book. I guarantee you're going to love it. It is fascinating. It's very interesting. The concept is powerful. And I feel that you as an individual, no matter if you're in sales or sales leadership, or if you just listen to this podcast because you like us and you're not even in sales at all, you can still find benefit from this. So go ahead and connect with Victoria. Tell her you heard her here, and apply, more importantly, the things that she shared, and see how you can listen with your whole body and make a big difference in your conversation. As always, we share stuff like this. We bring on folks like Victoria. We talk about these concepts because we want to help you. We want you to find more of those ideal customers. We want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. We want you to close more deals, but most importantly, we want you to raise your level of thinking each and every single day and go out and do big things. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video today. If you enjoyed the content, I ask you to go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up at the bottom right-hand corner. Also, to make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This way, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest sales strategies, latest tools, and things that are going to help you to not only find more prospects, but to close more deals. Thanks so much.